a four-time MP and is seeking re-election for a fifth term to the Lok Sabha and is perhaps one of the youngest members to have done that. We're now joined by Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur. Anurag, thank you so much for speaking to us in your constituency while on the campaign trail. Let me ask you first and foremost, what are the issues on which you're going to the people? There are, of course, national issues, but also a lot of the local issues, like, for instance, the guarantees that you're talking to the people about. What exactly is the point that you're making to your electorate here in Hamirpur?
Let me first welcome you and your team to Devbhoomi Himachal Pradesh and Veerbhoomi Hamirpur Himachal Pradesh.
Thank you.
Well, in an election, there are a lot of issues, from the candidate to the national politics to the state politics. People of Himachal Pradesh are very, very aware of all those issues, and they feel so proud when they think about the 2014 and 2019 elections, where they have given all 4 seats to the BJP and made Prime Minister Modi, time and again the Prime Minister of the country 2 times, and now this is the 3rd time. Well, at the national level, they feel good. There was good governance, clean government, full of achievements, poor welfare programs and all that, welfare program for the poor and all that. At the same time, when they look back at the state government, they feel sad and bad because they elected a government about 15 months back who given a lot of promises, guarantees, but have failed to fulfill those guarantees and is a failure governance also. They have promised to give 1,500 rupees per month to the women. They have promised to buy 2 rupees kilos cow dung and 100 rupees per litre, 100 rupees the milk. At the same time, 300 units of free electricity and 5 lakh jobs to the youth of the state. They have not fulfilled even one of them. They have given 10 such guarantees but not fulfilled any of them. So people feel sad about it. Now it is the time. They want to give it back to them. They are waiting for the opportunity. And if you look at the Rajya Sabha election, the MLAs have switched over from Congress to BJP. They voted against the Congress government, Congress candidate also. That clearly shows that they were not happy with the government and the governance structure.
One of the things you're also telling the people is the improved road connectivity. A lot of tunnels being built, reduced distances between Chandigarh, between Shimla, etc. How is this really working? Because does this mean that people have better access to healthcare or the day-to-day lives? It makes a huge difference. What are you telling them?
See, I'll quote you a couple of examples. Most of the people go from here to PGI Chandigarh for their checkups or to the Delhi. Now we have given them 1,700 crore rupees AIIMS in the district Bilaspur and also 2 medical colleges, couple of more hospitals, 300 bedded hospital in Hamirpur, PGI Extension Center worth 500 crore rupees in Una. So that is a big advantage. The mother and child hospitals to the dialysis centers and such facilities. But at the same time, if you look at the distance, the lifeline in the hills is the road. And the 4-lane highway from Kiratpur, Bilaspur, Mandi, Manali. The stretch Kiratpur, Bilaspur falls in my constituency, the initial stage. It used to take about 3 hours plus. Now it takes only 35 minutes to complete.
Because of the tunnel?
Because of the tunnel. There are bridges also. Basically, going up the mountains and coming down, going on a zigzag roads, it's a straight road, cutting down the distance and time as well. So that saves time, energy, and give you comfort also while traveling. Now many such 4-lane highways are under construction. One is from Hamirpur to Shimla, another is from Hamirpur to Mator and Nurpur Pathankot. Another is from Nurpur to Mandi. So people see it on the ground that the kind of money being sectioned for the rural roads, Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana, Central Road Fund, NABARD, and now also the 4-lane. People haven't seen these kind of roads in the state earlier. So it's like seeing is believing.
One issue, though, that you mentioned, that is of rail connectivity improving in Himachal. Now, I've seen a quote of Sukhwinder Sukhu where he's saying that the centre is misleading, that they have not done what they have promised when it comes to the railways. How would you respond to Chief Minister?
Let me say, Congress has not fulfilled any promise. Here also, There is not even a 1% contribution of Congress in bringing rail to Himachal Pradesh. It is the BJP who got it to Una, Ambindora and Daulatpur Chowk. We have completed that Himachal part. We have electrified that. We have started 12 new trains to various parts of the country, linked it with the various centers, major centers. And also we have started the Bhanupali-Bilaspur railway line, which will go up to the Leh. Central government has given 10 times more the money than the previous UPA government. But the state government, when BJP was here, we gave our part. But Congress here has not contributed in the last 1.5 years. Despite that, we are continuing the work of the Bhanupali-Bilaspur railway line. The second is Una-Hamirpur stretch. The Congress has not fulfilled their promise to give 25% to the railway line. The state is supposed to share 25% towards the expenses. So they are not promising that, they are not giving that. So if you not give it to one railway line and not to the other, what do you expect from the central government?
Right.
You have to give your share.
Right. So, other two issues which I see you prominently talking to people about, one is Ram Mandir and the other is on the issues of quota and how there will be income redistribution. What exactly are you telling people?
Say in few states, Congress has taken away the quota from the SC, ST, OBC, reduced it by 5% and given it to the minorities, which is the Muslim population. Now, in Himachal, people are also skeptical whether they will implement this in Himachal and take away the 5% from the SC, ST and OBC. Second is, there are many lawyers who belong to the Congress party who stood against the construction of Ram Lala on the Ram temple on the Ram Lala site. Now, when we won the case and built the structure also, there are voices coming from across the country from the congressmen that they're going to bulldoze the structure and all that, which is not accepted by people in a state like Himachal, which is known as Devbhumi. But at the same time, you're talking ill against Sanatan Dharma, you're talking ill against Hindus, you're talking ill against the saffron color. What is the problem? People want to know why the voices are against Hindus and Sanatanis and why there is a appeasement politics where they are looking for a vote bank and they want to speak ill against the Hindu community.
But even this reservation, they're saying we will do a caste survey and we will also look at in terms of which community is represented where. How do you think this is having an impact in terms of the various communities? How do you think it will have an impact?
See, they have already done it in some few states in the southern part of India, Andhra, Telangana and Karnataka, where they've taken away 5% of the SC, ST and OBC and given it to the Muslim community. Now the issue arises whether they're going to do it in Himachal also. After winning Himachal, Congress Chief Minister made a remark that we have won against 97% of Hindus in a Hindu majority state. जहाँ 97% हिंदू रहते हैं वहाँ पे कांग्रेस जीत कर आई. What were they trying to show? Why they are raising fingers on Sanatan Dharma, Bhagwa and the Hindus time and again? Is it not us? It is the Congress statement which is towards polarization, which is towards appeasement politics.
Yeah, they are in fact now targeting even Mr. Sambit Patra because a statement of his has gone viral. You would have seen the news also. They are saying that he has insulted Lord Jagannath by saying that Lord Jagannath is a bhakt of Prime Minister Modi. Mr. Patra has clarified, and we've seen even BJP, which has done a press conference saying that they did not clarify when Sanatan Dharma was slandered. Now why are they raising this issue? This is what we have seen BJP say. How do you react to that?
Congress allies want to time and again, not once, they said many times that Sanatan Dharma is like HIV AIDS. Let's erase Sanatan Dharma. Some wants to bulldoze Ram Mandir and all that. We don't need a lecture from Congress party or this opposition party who has opposed the Ram Mandir. At the same time, let me say, there could be a slip of tongue from you or from anyone else. There was not a right intent, there was not that kind of intention. And Prime Minister Modi, not from now, from his Gujarat days, he was part of the Jagannath Yatra. Yatra in the state of Gujarat also. And we have seen in Gujarat before Modi ji, there used to be riots during the Jagannath Yatra as well. But post he became the CM, everything was put to place, everything went off well. There was quite peace in the state of Gujarat. And similarly, he went to the state of Odisha, and whenever he went there, he tried to, pay a visit to the temple. I mean, we are proud to be a Sanatani, we are proud to be a Hindu. There's nothing wrong with that. But there could be a slip of tongue by you, me, or anyone else. I think that shouldn't be taken in that.
Right. Anurag ji, tell us also a little bit about the politics here in Himachal Pradesh. We had recently seen in the Rajya Sabha poll how 6 Congress MLAs had crossed over to the BJP side. They are also going to be contesting this time round. Do you see that having any impact to the morale of the BJP or the Congress and its impact on ground?
Definitely it has impacted the Congress morale, who was already on the low, because they have not fulfilled the promise, and people were feeling, sad being the MLA in the Congress party. For example, they were not getting appointment from the Chief Minister for good 4 months. And they were unable to do the development work in the constituency. When people used to ask them about the guarantees, they had no reply. But when came the election of Rajya Sabha, the Congress fielded a non-Himachali candidate. It's such a small state. The people wanted a Himachali candidate, but they did not. And the one who came has opposed the Himachal state whether the water cess to be given or not. And he was made the Congress candidate. They have not applied their mind on that. And also the Congress party whose leaders stood against Ramlala in the Ramlala temple case, Ram Mandir case, clearly had, put many things together for them to vote against the Congress party. So not only the Congress 6 MLAs, but plus 3 independent also voted against the Congress party, having 43 votes against 25, and you have lost the election. Can you imagine?
But many were saying that this could also be, the lead of the beginning of the fall of the Himachal government. That didn't happen in the Rajya Sabha election. Is it something that can happen in the near future?
If they would have done the floor test, that it would have been fallen the same day. See, because if you have to approve the budget and the finance bill, you have done the voice vote, simply you have just run through it. You did not allow people to cast their vote. It could have happened the same day.
Right. One of your ministers, though, of, it's a senior Himachal Pradesh minister and BJP leader from Laul Spiti, Mr. Ram Lal Markanda, has quit the party in March this year to protest the fielding of Congress rebel Ravi Thakur. Will this have any impact?
Definitely the people who are established, he is a former minister in the previous government, or 3-4 times MLA. It may have an impact, but then we got enough time to speak to our voters, our party cadre and all. So majority of our party cadre is with us, and they're working for the party, and I'm sure we're going to win not only the Laul Spiti but all 6 seats.
Right. A few questions I'll now ask you about Delhi, because Times Now has exposed just yesterday Operation Black Dollar, which talks about how, in violation of FCRA norms, Aam Aadmi Party was getting foreign funding, and in that they have used multiple persons on the same passport number, same account number also, same credit card number, same mobile number, different persons' entry to evade the laws. What would you think this says about Aam Aadmi Party, which has entered politics with the promise of cleaning it up, but now these charges are very serious because, foreign funding in violation of the rules is clearly also a violation not just FCRA but PMLA, the Representation of People Act, and even IPC.
If you look at the functioning of Aam Aadmi Party from the day one, is questionable. Their ties with the anti-India forces, people who want the Khalistan, and not only once but many times these kind of stories broke up even during the Punjab elections also. And now one of the Khalistan supporters have already made a remark that they have been funding the Aam Aadmi Party for quite some time, about $16 million or something like that they said. And apart than that, there are many others. Such news came out where one after another funding has come, which is under the radar of the agencies.
Also, when we went to ask this question yesterday to the Aam Aadmi Party, our reporter and our crew was manhandled over there. We have even, of course, an FIR has been filed in this regard, where they actually physically beat up our camera person also and prevented our crew from asking a question to Mr. Dilip Pandey, against whom there's a specific charge that he wanted 14 lakhs to be transferred to his personal account, siphoned out the party funds. How, as INB Minister, do you see this? Because this kind of attack on media is something that many would say is utterly uncalled for and is reprehensible.
See, when we talk about the freedom of speech and freedom of press, these kind of people get India a bad name. It happens in West Bengal, it happens in Punjab, it happens in Delhi, where opposition parties have their comment. And not only first time it happened many times to the Times Now reporters, from the Sheesh Mahal to many other such instances. If you remember clearly, there was a Jalandhar Bipole where one of your female anchor, she was, asked to be in the police station, and she was made to stay back overnight as well. I think time and again they try to force people not to report against them or to tell the truth, that they are one of the most corrupt political parties in the country who came into politics by saying a fight against corruption. But India against corruption. Now this India alliance is made of all corrupt parties. So I don't have much to say on that. All I want to say is this is the frustration of the Aam Aadmi Party, whose health minister, jail minister, education minister, liquor minister, deputy chief minister, all are in the jail. One political party whose majority ministers are in the jail and chief minister is functioning from the jail. Baba Sahib Ambedkar must be feeling very bad and sad that he never thought about this kind of clause, that he has to put a clause in the constitution. If someone is being jailed, he should not be on the CM position. But who thought कि कौन सोचता था उस समय की नैतिकता नहीं होगी आज के?
Swati Maliwal का भी issue है, in which a serious charge, again over there the charges of assault on a sitting Rajya Sabha member of parliament by the PA of the chief minister inside the chief minister's house. Of course, FIR has been filed now. Bibhav Kumar has been arrested as well. But what do you think this speaks about the Aam Aadmi Party and the role of, if a former DCW chief this can happen to? Many are questioning. What about the common person, the Aam Aadmi, the common lady on the street?
If you look at one of the Aam Aadmi Party's minister today, her remarks about Swati Maliwal some time back and her current remarks, it exposes Aam Aadmi Party. At the same time, manhandling of a woman, and that too even a Rajya Sabha MP, and also belonging to the same political party who is in power. I'm so sad to see the behavior of Aam Aadmi Party Chief Minister's PA. And despite knowing this, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal took his PA with him in the car the very next day. Sanjay Singh, the Rajya Sabha MP, gave a clear version in the media, I think on the 14th, about the incident took place, and 17th the minister, the women minister saying from the Aam Aadmi Party that nothing like this happened. Contradictory statements altogether. So there's a lot behind this. I think there's a lot of infighting within the Congress party, within the Aam Aadmi Party also. And they are struggling today. They are struggling to survive. And on many questions, Arvind Kejriwal is unable to answer the party. And look at the situation today. He is seeking votes in the name of getting bail and coming out of the jail. कि वोट दे दो ताकि अरविंद केजरीवाल जेल के बाहर रहे. Corrupt people has to be behind the bars.
Right. Last question on this subject. You know, Virender Sachdev, was the Delhi BJP president, he said, and I just want to quote, that entire controversy is Maliwal is happening because Kejriwal wants to send a prominent lawyer to Rajya Sabha on whom he has sent crores from the exchequer. What is the basis of these allegations? And is the same lawyer the same person who wanted to enter Rajya Sabha through Himachal?
You know, they are together now, the Congress and Aam Aadmi Party. He used to accuse Congress that what is CBI and ED doing? Sonia Gandhi must be behind the bars. This is Arvind Kejriwal's statement, public speeches. And today, his wife sit next to the Sonia Gandhi, shake hands, make alliances, make announcements. It's not a big thing that a person from the Congress party may switch over to Aam Aadmi Party, because now Aam Aadmi Party need more lawyers because of their corrupt practices.
Right. Also, one of the defenses that they keep making, Aam Aadmi Party and other opposition parties, when questioned on women's safety, is Brijbhushan Sharan Singh. They're saying BJP ne action nahi liya Brijbhushan Sharan Singh pe. How do you respond to them when they raise that question?
I'm glad that you asked this question. When this issue was taken up with us, we have formed an internal committee. The committee gave a report, and we have given that report to the Delhi police to take action. The wrestlers also went to the court. The Delhi police did the investigation, and they have finally submitted that in the court, and the court also came out with a judgment. We also welcome that judgment. We want the sports to be clean and the women to be safe, not only in sports but in the public life or in the personal life as well.
Right. You know, framing of charges has happened on Brijbhushan Sharan Singh. Of course, that is a court procedure. But we've seen Bajrang Punia, one of the key faces of the protest. He has said the decision to give Kaisarganj ticket to Karan Bhushan shows that BJP doesn't care about safety of women and Parivarvad is prevalent in ruling party. How do you respond to this?
I think let's restrict ourselves to the issue of Brijbhushan Sharan Singh. His son, who is an individual, independent person, he's got a ticket. So if Brijbhushan has done anything wrong, he has to face the consequences of that. It is not that the Arvind Kejriwal has done corruption, so his wife and his daughter should also go to the jail.
Okay, so you're saying corruption charges of father should not be linked to the son, right?
I mean, how can you do that? They're two independent people.
Right.